Right, in this video I just want to highlight for you one of the key reasons why it's really important that every single year, that during the winter at some point your living willow is giving a little bit of time and attention, a little bit of pruning off, but particularly a little bit of tucking back in. So if you see this stick I'm holding here, this is a dead stick, and I lifted it out of the top of the tunnel there, and there's quite a few of them here. So I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this. You may just have to take my word for it. But if you see this big stick running up here, this is one of the original sticks that went in that formed the entrance way to this tunnel. And if you follow the stick up, once you get past here, it is completely dead. And as I can look along here, I can find quite a few sticks that are like that. What the tree wants to do is do that. It's a tree. Its blueprint is to grow up, to grow straight. And when you start taking the willow, so take the archway here, so we've got two sticks planted in here, and then they wrap over each other, cross over. So this 10-foot stick, he's made to bend over at this point, and he wraps down. And of course the sticks on this side bend over and wrap down. Now that's not natural for a tree. That's not what it wants to do, because it wants to do that. So what happens is when you make that happen, the tree works out, hold on, there's something not quite right here. There's something that's not working naturally. So from the point where that 10-foot stick starts to head downwards, it kind of stops putting energy and life into it. And what will eventually happen is kind of like from the point where it starts to go over, that part of the stick will die off over time. And the same, of course, happens to the stick that runs over this way and is coming down. From where he starts to head downwards, over time, he will die back. And that is repeated all the way down the length of the tunnel. So every year you come along and you take some fresh sticks that have grown during the year and you wrap them onto those sticks that are forming the roof of the tunnel and keep curling them over. So every year you need to do this, and then that will ensure that this stays this shape. If you leave the willow for a few years, the stuff dries in the middle, the tree, it wants to become a tree, it just wants to do that. So that's exactly what it does. And before too long, you'll come along and you'll have a nice avenue of trees, but you've got no tunnel anymore. So it is really important that every single year you come along and you start tucking these in. So this one hasn't had his attention yet this year. So I'll be coming along and doing that for him a little bit later on. But that is one of the key reasons. And the same thing applies to domes, to arbors, to everything that you've got. They naturally want to do that. So you must every single year tease it and coax it into being the shape you want by putting new material in every single year, pruning off that which isn't working, and encouraging and maintaining that shape. You've only got to leave it for a few years and you've started to lose it quite quickly. So just that little bit of time every single year, and then you won't have a big catch-up to do later on. Because once it's gone, once it's turned into trees, it's very hard to get it back. You're never going to get quite the same curviness and beauty that you had in the first place. So if you want to keep your living willow, you've got to look after it. You've got to be kind and give it a bit of love every single year.